Hi guys, welcome back to Charlotte's Foliage. I thought I'd get in here today and share my experience with potting up some propagation plants. And I just wanted to say welcome back if you're revisiting, and welcome if this is your first time. And so without further ado, we'll just get right into the video. What I have here is a spider plant, and I've had this in propagation. And then I've got a few other plants right here that I've had in propagation for some time now. So I'm just going to get ready to pot them up, okay? And if they're not ready, then we might want to do something different with them. But so yeah, that's my goal today. And as you know, if you've been here before, I already have my mixture here ready to go. I just need to stir it up, and I'm gonna get a spoon to do that since I don't have one. Hold on just a second. Okay guys, so right here I have a spoon. I'm just going to kind of mix together my leca, cocoa husk, charcoal, perlite, and a little bit of soya, okay? And so this is an airy mixture. Most plants like it. And so that's our goal today. Is just get these plants potted up and give them a new home. So I have a pot here that I'm going to use. We're going to use this little bitty pot right here for the spider plant. So you always want to fill your pot up like less than a third. And then you're going to want to put your plant in there like so. You can put it toward the back, or you can center it. It's just whatever you desire or how you want your plant to grow. So that's what we're doing here. And because this plant has been propagating in water, you want to try to give it the same environment it's leaving. So that means you have to keep this plant at least wet or damp for at least 2 weeks so that it can get acclimated to its new pot and that it won't suffer because of lack of moisture that it's had. Because water roots are much thinner than soil roots or whatever type of a medium that you're using. Water roots are very thin. So yeah, right here I have her kind of leaning over, and I'm going to use a few of those barks to kind of help her stay upright. And then we're going to water her. So yeah, here's a little bitty spider plant. She's all ready to go. We're going to give her a little water. Give her some good water. And if you're worried about giving your plant too much water, you can always bottom water. And that's simply like how I have this tray right here, this little top. You can just let it bottom water. Let the water soak up through there. Okay? So that's our first pot up, spider plant. Okay? I have the mother plant. This is the baby that grew from the mother plant. So another thing you can do is you can simply put it, this is what it was propagating in, but I can actually put some water in here so that it can bottom water and have excess water already sitting in there when it needs it. That's something you can do. Okay? let's move on to the next plant. I have another pot here for this plant. This is I believe this is a heartleaf philodendron, and it's more than one. So if we wanted to look at the roots on it, you guys. So if we wanted to make a fuller plant, we would use more heartleaf philodendron root. Look how rooted this plant is. So let me show you how you can make a fuller plant. Okay, I'm gonna get some soil mixture here. I'm gonna put like a third of it in here. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna this is a hanging plant, so I'm gonna kind of let it hang over the side, and then I'm gonna backfill it. Okay, but because I'm doing it this way, this plant will be a full plant because I'm actually using more than one rooting. These cuttings that I'm using has rooted several times, and so this is going to be a very, very full plant when it finally does start growing. Okay, so that's how sometimes you're like, well, this only has one leaf in it. Well, that's true, but if you put more than one cutting in there, then you'll get way more growth. So that's all I'm doing. Excuse me, guys, is just putting more cuttings in here. And now I'm going to fill it up with soil, like so. Kind of press it down. Being careful not to put any of the leaves inside the soil. This too has been used to being in water or in moss, and the roots have been wet. So you want to keep that up for at least 2 weeks before this plant can begin to get used to its environment. Okay? So, and also too, this plant will look kind of weird when you first pot it up. It'll look like, ooh, that doesn't look like a very neat plant. That's because it still has time. It still needs to grow, and it also needs to get comfortable in its new surrounding. But you'll start seeing this plant reach up to the light, and the leaves will start opening up and standing up, and you'll have a whole new plant. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're doing today. I think I've got a bulb, some type of bulb here that has rooted, but I don't know what it is. So we got room for a little bit more in here. So I'm just making a little divot there so that we can add more and make the plant even fuller. Okay. Next, same thing. We're going to water it. Give her some water, because that's what she's been used to having. Her roots in water or in moss, which is also very wet. Okay. I'm running out of water, so let's put some from here. One thing I forgot to do, and I should have done it, but oh, that's right, I have some in my mixture. I put some root stimulator in there. You always want to stimulate the roots so that they'll have a better chance of growing and lasting, because sometimes plants, some of the plant won't survive, and sometimes the whole plant will survive, but you won't know it until you just watch it grow. So I'm just going to stick that in there, and look, there is your new plant. Okay, that's plant number 3. I'm going to clean up a little bit here because I'm getting a little messy, but it's no problem because I got everything right here, so we can fix that. Now, the next plant we have here, it only has a really small root, so it's not quite ready yet. But because it's been in this mixture for some time, I'm thinking about moving it to moss because I believe that it will perk up the roots a little bit better if we move it to moss and perlite. Okay, so that's why I have this container here. We're going to put some perlite and moss in this container, and we're going to close it up and see if we can give this plant a better chance. Okay, we might be able to use some moss that we already have here, depending on how much roots we have left in here. Hold on, let me get some moss here. I got some. Okay. Yes, I went and got some more moss that I had, and I've got some perlite already in here. So we're going to start with that at the bottom, and we're going to bring the plant as close to the top of this container as we can. Okay, I think I'm going to water this really good so that it has a better chance of surviving, because this plant has been in propagation for some time, meaning that we should have been getting more roots by now, but we're not. So when you start seeing that, you start checking on it, a month or so has gone by, and you see a growth, but it's just not really giving you much growth, then you might need to change the medium that you have the plant in. So I'm going to get some root stimulator. Even though I have some in here, I'm going to sprinkle some on the roots. Give me just a second. So all I'm doing is taking a little bit of this root stimulator, and I'm going to put it on the roots of this plant to give it a better chance at rooting. Okay, then I'm going to sit it on a moss bed, like so. Move in so you guys can see this. And then I'm going to center that right in that moss bed. Okay, so I put some perlite in there. A little bit of everything is in there, but my main thing was to get it in some more perlite, and also to change its environment. So see, this is just like a cupcake container or something. My kids had donuts, grandkids had donuts or something. So now I'm going to give this plant more humidity. See? There's all kind of things that you have around your house that you could possibly use to help your plant grow and develop. This moss is already wet, so I did not wet it, okay? So that's plant number 3. We're on a roll, you guys. Now, I still got some more cuttings in here, but I want to show you guys something. I've got some what they call corms, alocasia corms that's growing, and it looks like they've got enough roots on there to where I want to make sure that I put this back in here and continue to let this corm grow, because that's going to eventually turn into a big plant. You ever seen an elephant ear plant or an alocasia? They get huge. You put them outside, they'll grow for you. So that came from a large plant, and when I was repotting it, I was able to get what they call corms, and I'm really excited because that's my first time doing that, and those corms are turning out to be a success. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, so look at here. Here's your potted up plants. You've got your peperomia peperomioides, Pilea peperomioides, your heartleaf philodendron, and your spider plant. Now look at this, you guys. See all these plants that's growing in this container here? Can you see that? Look what we have here. All of this is just cuttings that I took from my plant that was bigger, and made baby plants. This is how people sell plants, okay? So you just keep checking in on them. And then once you start noticing the roots are getting really, really long and healthy, then you can begin to make new plant babies, okay? So what we're going to do, we're not going to do that all on film today, but what we are going to do is check and see how the roots are doing on some of these plants. Some of these plants may have just been put in roots in this container, okay? So let's just take a look and see what we got here. This is a, I've forgotten which plant this is. And it's brand new, but it's not doing so well. It's not new. I'm going to show you it's not doing well and how I can fix that. Okay, you see how dark the roots are on there? All you do is take that root off. You get your root stimulator, and we already have some here. And you give it a little bit on there, and you stick it back in the moss, okay? Because it may have gotten too wet and wasn't satisfied, okay? So yeah. The next thing we're going to be looking at is we have some propagations here that we want to check on and see if they're growing, and if they're not growing, what we can do to help it grow or put it in another substrate. And my sister Angela's here visiting, and it's a nice surprise visit. And so yeah, welcome. Come over here, sis, so they can see you and say hello. She said she don't want to get on camera, so I understand that. But yeah, she's here, and so let's just keep going. This is a new cutting, so that it hasn't rooted yet. We have some roots on there. See there? So that's a new plant for you, okay? But we want it to be at least 3 inches, and it's not. So what you do is you just put it back in the substrate if it's doing good, and then you continue to give it more time. If for some reason it wasn't doing well, you could cut off the part that has darkened, and after that time, you can put some root stimulator on that root, or you can choose to put it in another substrate, which it might do better in another substrate. So I just want to get in here today and just kind of show you guys what I've been doing, what I've been working on. And I haven't filmed in a while because I've been pretty busy, but I want you guys to continue to subscribe to my channel and watch and give me your ideas about plant content, and tell me about some things that you've done to continue your propagation and growing your plants in a healthy way. So come back, and thanks for watching. Bye now.